So remote work has become a de facto trend in today's situations, and I wanted to share with you a couple of pros and cons of remote work for someone who's doing this for quite a while. And the first one is that yes, remote work is it sounds more sexy, it gives you more freedom, and it is more comfortable for you as an employee. However, this comes at a cost, and it's as straightforward as this: your employer will likely negotiate your salary given the fact that it's a remote job. And even if it's not, from the moment you apply for the job, that they put it this way, but chances are that going down the road, this remote work, this remote setting will impact the way you're rewarded. And I'll link something in the video description, something at Facebook, I believe, that already has such initiatives. The second thing you want to keep in mind while working remotely is that developing teams in a remote setting is a very, very challenging thing to do. I tell you this from working myself with hundreds of IT professionals, and to be honest with you, it's rare that I manage to build a solid team that deliver high-performing results exclusively in a remote setting. So you must have some face-to-face interaction if you want. And this is also this problem is actually more complicated than it first seems, because this in turn is so challenging for employers to do that they will actually prefer more and more to do acqui-hires, that is to buy entire teams rather than to form these teams, simply because if they hire people for remote work and then they try to build those teams, it's a lot more challenging, and it's considerably more challenging than it would be to develop those teams on site. So that's why, in my opinion, there will be less job openings in technology and in high performing, especially because of this trend of acqui-hires. And I believe this is also a con when it comes to most of you applying for roles the normal way. The third thing I want to talk about here is that remote work is excellent for most introverts, and I believe introverts will always thrive on remote working opportunities. And what is an introvert? I believe Simon Sinek's explanation is one of the best I found so far. Meeting with people actually depletes your energy. If you're that type of person, then you're most likely an introvert. An extrovert actually gains momentum by engaging with people, and they feel more excited. So remote work is great for introverts. That's definitely a pro of remote work. Next point, and another pro of remote work, is for exceptional talent. Exceptionally talented people, or must-have people, people that you cannot simply replace in a team, will benefit from remote work, because your salary will not usually go down, and your comfort will actually increase. So I believe that you can live quite well this way, and I know many people who make a great living through remote work. And you should understand that if you fall into this type of category, that you're irreplaceable in a team, then you're most likely going to win from this new setting of remote work for everyone. And the last thing I want to touch upon here, and it's something that you must also be aware of, is that decision making might become more brutal in a remote setting. And this is because in a certain sense, you cannot have that connection that you build in a face-to-face, in a traditional work environment, and decisions are not as easy as they used to predict in these types of settings. And the other reason why decisions will become more brutal is because remote work is an experiment. So no one has ever tried to develop these things on a permanent basis. Yes, IBM tried, and they failed, and they got back to the traditional settings, but no one from the high-performing companies have actually previously experienced this 100% remote setting. So there will be experiments, and there will be a lot more decision-making involved, and expect this a much tougher environment when it comes to decision-making. So these were the 5 points I wanted to share with you when it comes to remote work. Hopefully you found this useful.